Hello, my name is Matthias and welcome to the FPL Scope and my team selection video for game week 23, where first we're going to go through my score from game 22, then we're going to look at my free hit draft from game 22 and see how that did comparatively, and then we're also going to look at the free hit team for game week 23 because I make a free hit team every single game week on this YouTube channel. And then finally we're going to go to my game week 23 plans as well. But first and foremost, game week 22, 44 points. Again, a bit of a disappointing game week. Again, a red arrow. I think that's my fourth one in a row or something like that. I was into like the top 47k, I think I was. And now it's basically just gone downhill since then. But hopefully things are going to get better soon. This game week was kind of middling. Like I wasn't too far away from getting a green arrow, but still a couple places down. And now I'm outside the 200k as well, which is not ideal at this moment in time, but still nothing like crazy, nothing major. It's not something that I can't change basically for the end of the season and get into the top 10k hopefully at some point. We'll see. But either way, my game week just going through from the goalkeeper and down. Sanchez 2 points as always. He just keeps conceding. I don't really like him, as you can probably tell by now. Trent Alexander-Arnold with 11 points. That was a huge plus for my team. He got an assist very late in that game for Liverpool. And also kept the clean sheet obviously and got the bonus points. 11 points from him, 1 point from Gabriel, who keeps like not performing as well. I'm not too happy about that, but I'm still also not losing hope in him because I know how good Arsenal are defensively and how good he is offensively. Munoz though, second clean sheet in a row against West Ham, so as a West Ham fan I wasn't happy to see that, but at least I had him in fantasy. So 6 points from Munoz, still waiting for that attacking return. Ismail Sarr, 3 points. He was subbed off after like 63 minutes or so. He was slightly injured and didn't really look the part either. He's also someone that I'm losing patience with, but I think I'm going to keep him for at least one more game week, and then we'll see what happens. He plays Brentford at home next week, which is it's going to be a decent game week. Someone that might not be here next game week is Bruno Fernandes, who plays Fulham away next time around, but at least he got 8 points from this past game week. He keeps getting in good positions to score and does score from time to time, so he keeps getting some points as well, which I'm happy to see. But obviously could also be better for the price that he is, and I also might need that money for someone else eventually, as you'll see when I go through my Game 23 plans. Palmer with 2 points. He didn't really look the part, looked kind of injured in his game as well, and I was kind of annoyed to see him playing as Wolves, because if he hadn't played I would have gotten Castagna in as my starter instead. He would have had 6 points, but instead I had to live with 2 points from Palmer, which I was happy to see because I didn't captain him, so he would only hurt me if he would have gotten points. Because my captain was Salah, who once again blanked. Second game week in a row now that Salah has blanked since I pledged to captain him every single game week. We'll see if he keeps testing my patience, because I am going to captain him at least the next 2 game weeks, with Ipswich at home coming up and then the double game week in game week 24 after that. So yeah, I'm going to keep to my promise for now, but let's see what happens if he keeps blanking every single game week now, or every single game. He has 3 games to basically show me that he is someone that I can trust going forward. Isak though, he had his first blank in a while. He had scored in 8 goals, or he had scored 8 matches in a row, but couldn't make it 9 and wasn't able to score against Bournemouth in a pretty shock result there against in the 4-1 loss for them. Cunha as well, blanked against Chelsea. I was hoping for something from him, but he wasn't really that close either. He's almost got the assist for the corner, I guess, because Sanchez sort of dropped it down to Doherty, but it would hit another player, and it wasn't really a shot anyway, so I don't think he would have had the assist even if it dropped straight down to Doherty. So yeah, Cunha, still hoping for some good things from him at some point. Joao Pedro as well, starting to lose patience in him. Cunha and Joao Pedro were the popular strikers to have like 6 game weeks ago. Now people have moved on to the likes of Wood and Mateta, and I really wish I had both of them, or one of them at least, but it just hasn't been I haven't really had the luck of the draw, I guess, the last few game weeks. So yeah, my strikers are still struggling. On the bench, Fabianski 2 points as always. He keeps matching Sanchez at least, I guess, because Sanchez keeps not getting clean sheets. Castagna did get a clean sheet, however, so 6 points for him. Wish I had started him, but I don't think I would have started him over Gabriel. And I think all the forward players are people that I would start as well. Maybe I should have benched Joao Pedro because he is kind of bad, but yeah, I didn't really think Castagna would keep a clean sheet either, but he got 6 points, so nice for him, but didn't get him in, sadly. Rodgers on the bench with 1 point as well against Arsenal. Not really that surprising. Didn't really expect much against Arsenal. And Mikolenko with 1 point as well in the game against Spurs, where they were leading 3-0, so he could have kept the clean sheet at some point there, but they did concede 2 goals as well. So yeah, 1 point for him. So 44 points in total. No transfers made at least, so I have saved up some transfers at the very least. I've also saved up all my chips. Now we're going to get the assistant manager chip in next game week as well, in game 24. So I'm going to add that to the graphics as well. So I'm going to change the graphics to include the ass-man chip, as we so favorably call it, basically. But yeah, that was my GW22 score of 44 points. Let's see if my free hit draft did any better, where I can select any player I want for GW22. Usually I outscore my own team, but not always. So let's see if that happened this week or this past week. And it did happen, because I got 59 points on the free hit drafts, and that's mainly down to one guy in particular, and that is Phil Foden, my favorite midfield differential. 19 huge points from Foden. That also helped me win my draft league, where I faced my co-host on the FPL School podcast, Kevin. So Foden managed to get 19 points from that. But in goal, I had Sels, and in defense, I had Murillo. I expected Nottingham Forest to keep a clean sheet against Southampton, but they conceded twice even, so they both got 1 point. I had Robinson in defense. He has that assist threat on top of having the clean sheet threat and the bonus potential. Ended up with 8 points in total from the clean sheet. Hall conceded 4 goals, but still managed to get an assist, so he did manage to get 4 points in total. That's also nice to see. Salah as captain 6 points, Palmer with 2 points, as they did get in my team as well. Amad Diallo only with 2 points as well, because Man United looked pretty bad in their game. So yeah, probably avoiding Man United players for now, I think. In attack, Isak with 2 points, kind of surprising. Jackson with 2 points, also kind of surprising, even though he has been in poor form. I did expect him to do something against Wolves, but once again, he looked kind of bad and lackluster, so I would not begrudge anyone that would want to sell him now, basically. Chris Wood with 12 points, though, against Southampton. Not really that surprising. I did think about bringing him in for that game week, but I thought he was going to be a bit of a short-term punt, if that's the case, just for the Southampton game, basically, because from now on, he's going to get some tougher fixtures. Maybe not the next 2 game weeks. I mean, Bournemouth away is kind of tough, but then he has Brighton at home, which I think is decent at least. But after that, he has pretty tough fixtures. So yeah, nice send-off gift from Wood for anyone that has had him for a while with 12 points. On the bench, Dubravka against Bournemouth conceded 4 goals in that game, 2 points for him, and so wasn't even playing. I thought he was going to be ready to play, but we got news that he wasn't ready to play, and then he didn't play. 0 points for him. Mozarawi with 1 point on the bench, and Castagne as well here on the bench with 6 points and the clean sheet. So that was the free hit basically for game week 22. 59 points, which is decent enough in this game week, which had a really low score in general because the main captaincy choices didn't really deliver. So yeah, overall this season, I've done a free hit every single game week so far this season, and overall that would have given me a rank of 63k in total, which again is okay, I guess. Could have been better, but yeah, could have been worse as well. At least it's higher than my own rank, which is currently still plummeting. But yeah, 1,444 points in total from the free hits that I've selected this whole season. Let's see what happens with the next free hit in game week 23 and see if I can do something better this time around, or maybe I can replicate the success that I did by picking Foden. I'm pretty happy to have the picks that are the actual main men from that game week, and Foden was by far the best player to have in game week 22 as well. So happy that I had him on my team at least. In my game week 23 squad, I have a bit of a different setup with my players, so I'm going to go through them as well. Again, in goal, I have Martinez for Aston Villa against West Ham. West Ham just looked really lackluster offensively against Crystal Palace last time around, so I do expect Aston Villa to keep a clean sheet in this game. Martinez is obviously a really good goalkeeper, and I think this is a good fixture for Aston Villa. I'm kind of sad that I didn't bring in any other Aston Villa forwards, but I just preferred some other players. I tried to fit in Watkins, but I just didn't have enough cash. So yeah, Emi Martinez will be the only Aston Villa player in this free hit draft, basically. In defense, Trent Alexander-Arnold against Ipswich at home. I think that is a no-brainer. He's really, really good. Gabriel against Wolves. I also think that's pretty good. Wolves could score. They do score quite a lot of goals, so maybe not the safest card, but I think finally at some point Arsenal will keep a clean sheet, and I think Gabriel also has that chance to score offensively. Lewis Hall against Southampton away, I think that's a no-brainer. Going to triple up with the Newcastle boys, Hall, Gordon, and Isak, who are really popular for good reason in the game against Southampton away. Mitoma at home to Everton, I just think that's a pretty good fixture, and Kevin said that Mitoma usually scores against Everton, so I have a pretty good feeling about that. So yeah, I've selected him as well as a kind of a differential in midfield. Gordon, like I mentioned, has been fantastic lately, and I think he's going to have another good game against Southampton. Even looking into bringing him in as well, potentially for this game week, even though he has some tougher fixtures coming up pretty soon. But Gordon is fantastic, and Newcastle have been in really good form, so I think he's going to do provide the goods basically in this game week, especially against Southampton. Heung-min Son against Leicester at home, I think that's a really good punt to go for. Son has been good in the past against these weaker teams. He scored twice now as well in the Europa League, so I think he's in pretty good goal scoring form. He's going to play up front as well because Solanke is out injured unless Richarlison plays up front, but I think Son's going to start up front. So I think he's actually a pretty good pick now and a really fun differential for 1 week or maybe even a bit more than that as well, because Solanke is out for a while. Son is probably going to be the preferred player up front. He's going to take penalties. He's going to be in good positions. We know Spurs are really offensively minded, so I don't really mind Son as a punt at all, as like a differential. I might even look into bringing him in myself for my squad, but yeah, we'll see what I do with my own team. Salah as well at home to Ipswich. I think that's a terrific game. They just lost 6-0 against Man City, so I can easily see Salah scoring a lot of goals in that game. Isak against Southampton as well is another really good captaincy option in this game week. Southampton aren't good at all, and Isak is really, really good, so all the more reason to back him. Cody Gakpo against Ipswich as well. I think that's a really good fixture, especially considering Jota is almost certainly out for that game. So I think Gakpo is going to be a really good player to have this game week. And then Mateta at home to Brentford. I think he is still a really good striker to have. He's in a really good form now. And Brentford have been a pretty lackluster or leaky team, at least, away from home this season. So I think that's looking pretty good. On the bench, Fabianski, as always, pretty much in goal as my backup goalkeeper. I also have Ethan Nwaneri from Arsenal, who's going to be back and fit and available now. He's back in training. I think he's kind of an underrated pick as well, as like a differential if you want to go for someone really cheap to have stashed on your bench. I think he has the opportunity to play quite a bit now going forward with no Saka. So I think he's actually a pretty sneakily good pick. So he's someone that I might look into bringing in myself. Maybe I'll bring in him for Fernandes and save a lot of money and try to spend it elsewhere somehow. But yeah, I think in one area is really, really good. Castagna, once again, after getting the clean sheet last time, why not try to go for him again on the bench? And then Bednarek against Newcastle at home, just to have like a cheap player, because I didn't really have enough money to get anyone else basically. So yeah, that's basically the team. I think Gakpo is the best differential forward, or at least like Isak is a better forward, but Gakpo is like the differential player that you can go for there. Son is going to be a really nice differential in midfield, both for this game week and I think potentially also for the next few game weeks, like I mentioned. And Lewis Hall, as always, is going to be a really good defensive pick to have as well. So those are my three favorite differentials overall. So that is the free hit draft for Game Week 23. Let's take a look at my own team for Game Week 23 and see if I can do anything special for this upcoming game week and finally, hopefully, get a green arrow. That has been a long time since that has happened, or at least many game weeks since that has happened, because the game weeks have been coming thick and fast basically for Christmas and stuff. So yeah, but January has not been good for me. Game week 23 plans for me this upcoming game week. Yeah, I have a couple plans that I wanna do in terms of transfers. So I think I'm going to talk about those firstly. I mostly want Cody Gakpo because I want him for the double game week, but I also think Ipswich at home is a really nice opportunity, especially considering Jota is not available for that game, most likely. So I've been looking to do Joao Pedro to Gakpo, but I don't have the exact funds to do that. I have 1.5 in the bank, so that means I'm about like 0.4 short. And I looked through the squad and looked at different alternatives, and I think I've landed on the fact that Bruno Fernandes selling Bruno Fernandes is the best move, basically. Fulham away is a pretty tough fixture for him. I don't really expect him to get much from that game. Man United aren't looking that good, so I might just go without Man United players in general. I'm also more looking into free hitting in Game Week 29 now, which is where you would like to keep Fernandes for, because he plays Leicester in that game week. But if I'm going to free hit anyway, I don't really need him in my squad. So there are a couple of reasons now to get rid of Fernandes. But with that said, I'm not really doing that happily, because I think Fernandes has looked really good. He even scored now in the Europa League to get Man United the 2-1 winner against the Rangers. So I think he's a really good player to have in general, but I just feel like I need the money for Gakpo because I really want a new striker, and I think Gakpo really fits the bill for what I want. And to get him, basically, I would have to sell Fernandes, and I think Mbeumo is someone that I really want to have, especially from Game Week 24 onwards. I think he's going to be really, really good. Spurs at home, it seems like a perfect fixture for him. Palace away is not the best fixture, especially considering I already have Munoz, so I'm hoping for another clean sheet from. But I guess you can't really, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. So yeah, Gordon is the other player that I would potentially consider since he's playing Southampton, but he sort of has the opposite problem of Mbeumo. He has Southampton, which is a nice fixture, and then after that he has pretty tough fixtures. Mbeumo has Palace away, which is a pretty tough fixture, and then he has pretty good fixtures after that. So yeah, I'm not quite sure though. I do think Bruno Fernandes and Joao Pedro aren't the worst pick either this game week. I think Joao Pedro could do well against Everton. I did have Mitoma in my free hit draft, so yeah, I do think Joao Pedro could potentially be a really good player to have as well. But I just really want Gakpo for this game week. I think he's going to be really good. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for basically. But yeah, going through the team again, in goal, I have Sanchez still. I did think about bringing in Alisson. That could still be what I do. I have enough money in the bank to just do that straight up. So that might be like the safer route for me. But I don't really like goalkeeper transfers. I don't really think I want Alisson like long term either, especially if I'm free hitting in game week 29 now. I'm going to wait until like game week 35 until I wildcard. So I definitely don't want Alisson for that long. So with all that in mind, I just don't think I'm going to do the Alisson move that I did think about earlier. I guess Sanchez will just have to make do as my goalkeeper for now. He's been terrible, one of my least favorite FPL players of all time, but at least he is kind of cursed, and he's cursing Chelsea to concede goals, and I'm kind of happy about that, especially seeing as Kevin, my co-host on the FPL Score podcast, his brother Tim is a Chelsea fan, and he also cursed me by saying I should slow down by the end of at the end of December, right before New Year's. He basically told me to slow down in FPL, and that's what I've definitely done since then. I've gone from 47k to 209k. So he put a curse on me. So I'm going to put on curse, or I'm going to keep having the curse on his favorite team and his favorite goalkeeper in Sanchez. But yeah, Trent, Gabriel, they are both in my free hit team. So obviously they're really good picks. Munoz as well against Brentford at home. I think he's also a really solid option. Could get attacking returns, could get clean sheets, could get both at the same time. Hopefully, that would be really nice. Salah for me, easy captaincy choice against Ipswich. Ipswich are just pretty bad in general. Palmer, also really easy player to just keep and start. I think Man City are really bad defensively, and I think Palmer has the skills that it takes to score against his former club as well. That's also important to remember. That's sort of like a revenge game for him. And I think City are just not that good offensively, or defensively at least. So I think Palmer can easily be good in that game. Fernandes, most likely going to sell him. I don't really like the fixture. I think I could get Amad Diallo if I want Man United cover at a later point. So I might just sell him for Mbuemo this time, and then maybe sell Ismail Assar to, or Rodgers potentially, to Amad later on if I do change my mind in terms of my tactics or in terms of Man United looking better. Ismail Assar, not really too happy with him. Eze has been better than him. Mateta's been better than him, especially. He's one player that I probably would have brought in if it wasn't for Sarr, because I don't want to double up with the Palace attackers, but I probably should have just bought Mateta and then sold Sarr eventually instead. I think that would have been the better option, but I think it's a bit late with Mateta now compared to Gakpo, who I prefer. So yeah, but anyways, Ismail Sarr, gonna give him another chance. Brentford at home should be a decent game for him, so I think he has a decent shot of scoring or assisting, especially in that type of game. If Brentford are showing up to play and trying to play attacking football, I think it could be really, really good for Ismail Sarr, who is a pretty explosive player and can get like really high scores in a particular game week. So I think it could be good. Rodgers against West Ham, I have a lot of faith in him against West Ham. I think West Ham are looking still really bad, still under Potter. They are trying to adjust to the new manager, but struggling, and I think Rodgers can easily take advantage of that. Up front, Isak, like I mentioned a couple times now, on the free hit draft as well. Southampton away, fantastic fixture. I think he's going to go right back to scoring goals. Southampton are really bad defensively, and Isak will definitely take advantage of that. And then Joao Pedro, who I'm also like probably selling because I want Gakpo, but I think Joao Pedro could be good, but I've also thought that for several game weeks now where he has blanked. So yeah, at least now Welbeck is back, so he plays in a better position for him. He also takes penalties, so there's always that chance. He did score last time around against Man United, but the goal was disallowed, sadly, for me. But Brighton looked good against Man United at least, and Joao Pedro will play in his favorite position, and he's going to play 70 plus minutes as always and be on penalties. So maybe I want to hold off on that transfer as well, but I've been holding off transfers for so long now. I'm starting to get the itch, especially seeing as I'm just sinking in my rankings. So I think I'm going to do the move to get Gakpo and then get Mbuemo long term as well, which I have listed there on the side pretty much. So yeah, Fabianski in goal. I might actually start Fabianski over Sanchez. That might be what I do because I think Sanchez is going to concede anyway. I'm also pretty certain Fabianski will concede. He does also play against a player that I have in midfield in Rodgers. So either way, I will not really be covered in terms of not having a defender facing one of my attackers. But yeah, hopefully Fabianski could play and save a penalty maybe. He was close to saving the penalty from Mateta last time around. Maybe he gets another chance and saves the penalty from Watkins. That would be really nice. And put Rodgers higher up on the totem pole when it comes to penalties potentially as well. But yeah, Mikolenko against Brighton away. don't think he's going to keep a clean sheet, but he is a decent option off the bench in case I need him. Cunha against Arsenal, he is potentially the guy to score against Arsenal, but I'm hoping that Gabriel finally keeps a clean sheet, and I can't really trust a player against Arsenal. Anyway, I think that's a tough fixture, so I'm benching Cunha, even though I think he's going to be good for me eventually. And then Castagna against Man United at home. I should probably move him up on the standings there. I think it's just the fact that it's Man United and historically they've been good. He should probably be my first bench player there, like he was last week when he got a clean sheet. So yeah, probably going to move Castagna up to first bench, Mikolenko second bench, and Cunha third bench. And that's pretty much it for my game week plans in game week 23. The Liverpool players are important to have. I have Trent and Salah already. I think Gakpo is probably the best third option to have from Liverpool as well. So that's what I'm looking to do currently, but I'm not 100% sold. It feels a bit wrong to sell 2 penalty takers, even though I get one back in Mbuemo. It feels a bit wrong to do that, but yeah, I think I just need to do some stuff, and I think Gakpo is such a good player to jump on right now with Ipswich at home, the double game week against Bournemouth, and Everton away, and then Wolves at home after that as well. I think that's really good timing for Gakpo, so I'm going to hope that he turns it on and becomes a really good player for me this season. I need a differential to work out now because, yeah, I'm struggling quite a bit, as you've seen. But anyways, as a person, I'm struggling less and less. My arm is getting better and better, at least. I'm back to doing I'm doing other exercises now that will help me gain even more mobility and stuff after I broke my arm, which if you didn't know already, give me a like if you appreciate my effort to keep making videos with still a broken arm. But anyways, like the video if you can, subscribe if you haven't already, comment down below if you have any questions or anything about your own plans for this game week potentially and stuff. Anything else you want to see from this channel also would be nice to get feedback on that in the comments. So yeah, let me know if you like the video and all that stuff. Thank you for watching. I felt like I've spoken like so fast today. I probably have as well, because it is pretty late and I should probably go to bed pretty soon. So yeah, that's it basically for the video. So thank you for watching as always. Very much appreciate it. See you next time. Bye bye.